Today let's look into the history of this well-known household product on this episode of Antique Bottle Stories. You may or may not be surprised to learn that Clorox did not start until 1913. I figured it was older than that. Really, I only thought that because the cork top bottles, they just seemed older to me. Well, in 1913, 5 guys began this project. Archibald Taft was a banker. Edward Hughes was a purveyor of coal and wood. Charles Husband was a bookkeeper. Rufus Myers was a lawyer, and William Hussey was a miner. They each invested $100 and got started setting up the first commercial liquid bleach factory in the United States. It was called the Electro-Alkaline Company, and it was located in San Francisco. I wonder how they all met, being that they were all coming from different fields of work. So Clorox was their original product. Its name is derived from chlorine and sodium hydroxide, which are the 2 main ingredients. The Clorox logo always featured a diamond shape, and the company kept that diamond logo for more than 100 years now. The company struggled the first few years because bleach wasn't something that people were familiar with, and none of these guys were in the business of marketing, so the company was on the verge of collapse. In 1916, just 3 years after they started, an investor named William C.R. Murray took over as general manager. He came in and streamlined operations. Now, he and his wife Annie already ran a grocery store, and she had the idea to make sample-sized bottles to give away at the store. You almost can't see her in this picture. She kind of gets lost in all the stuff, but she's in the center. It didn't take very long before the word spread, and by the next year, in 1917, the company was shipping bleach all the way over to the East Coast. In 1928, the company name was changed to Clorox Chemical Company. It says Murray became president in 1929. I guess up until then, he was just the general manager, but I don't know who was president before that. Clorox had a little mascot named Butch, who was an animated bleach bottle. He ran from 1920 until 1957. I found a bunch of these ads, but I couldn't find a commercial with him. In 1941, William Murray died. The paper said that he had been battling an illness for the last 2 months. History never talks about the original 5 guys, so I started looking them up to see what happened to them, but I wasn't given any information about them except for their names. I think I found a few of them, but I couldn't find anything to link them to the company itself, so it could have been a different guy with the same name. If the guys that I found are the same guys, it doesn't look like they stayed with the company after 1920. I chose to check 1920 because it's only a few years after William took over. But the guys I found look like they went back to their old jobs. So anyways, after William Murray died, a guy named William Roth, who was the vice president at the time, he became president. Now Roth was 44, and he had been working at Clorox for half of his life. I found that he was also a bookkeeper for a little while. And this is right as World War II was getting started. Here is Roth's World War II registration. With the war depleting supplies in almost all categories, Roth had to make some tough decisions. He decided instead of compromising the quality of the product by watering it down, he just slowed down production. Also, during the 1940s, they started a campaign claiming that if you cleaned your fridge and all your food containers with bleach, they would be sanitary, and therefore your food would be less likely to spoil. Here's an ad in 1965 in the paper talking about bleach being used to purify water after a flood. They say that you can safely store water in empty bleach bottles because they are contamination proof. And you can also add 1 teaspoon of bleach into a 5-gallon jug of water to purify it. In 1957, Procter & Gamble acquired Clorox. Over the years, Clorox acquired some brand names as well, such as Pine Sol, Liquid Plumber. There's various cleaning products, as well as Burt's Bees products. And Clorox is still in California today. Clorox has a place on their website that talks about their antique bottles and how to date them. According to this website, in 1913, with the original 5 guys, liquid bleach was first bottled in 5-gallon crockery jugs. They didn't have a picture of one, and I couldn't find one either. These were distributed on a more commercial basis, and it was really only distributed to the San Francisco area by horse and buggy. It wasn't introduced for household use until 1918. That's where the 15-ounce common amber bottles began. From 1918 until 1928, the amber bottles didn't have any embossing on them, just a paper label. The website says that other companies also use this same type of amber bottle, so there's no way to tell if it's a Clorox bottle or another company. They actually have a full chart to date your bottles, and it looks like every couple of years is just a slight modification. It seems every couple of years a little bit more embossing was added to the bottles. By 1940, the screw top was introduced. I found 2 of my Clorox bottles, and my bottles are cork tops, and they have a lot of embossing on them, on the shoulder, on the neck, along the base, and on the bottom. It says Clorox everywhere. I noticed on mine that there's also an Owens mark on these. Not on the bottom where they usually are, but it's along the base. See, this one has a 4, so this one dates to 1934, and this one says 8, so it's 1938. So there's that way to date them as well. By 1960, they started transitioning to the plastic bottles. Here's an ad in the paper in 1965, and next to all the kids, it says, "Clorox needed here." I'm going to leave you with an old commercial that I found from 1964 because I just love the old commercials. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Mildred, lend me a dime for the dryer.
Oh, sure. Would you mind? Thanks.
You say you're having trouble with Herman, Mildred?
Oh, not Herman. Herman shirts. Would you mind? That dirt on the collar. My detergent and bleach just can't get it out.
Oh, you must be using a weak bleach. To get out dirt like that, you should add Clorox. Here, look at George's shirt. Clorox adds cleaning power that gets out dirt, detergents, and weak bleaches leave in. And Clorox works just as well on pillowcases, socks, towels, everything.
Say, you know, this Clorox bleach is a real...
Really, mister, this is a private conversation.
Well, I would...
Remember, the added cleaning power of Clorox gets out dirt, detergents, and weak bleaches leave in.